is Alicia Massari. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, and I work with a group called Imbalance. And we offer 8-week courses and workshops for kids, teens, families, seniors.
This is Sandra Saliovic, founder of Destinos Enterprises, presenting Latin and Canadian destinations. We offer 3 different services: destination marketing, destination management, and general sales agent to travel companies, tourist boards, airlines, and land transportation.
Homemade traditional Peruvian dessert, alfajores, basket of ham, beef, turkey, veggie gourmet sandwiches. Hoagie Ways Catering, phone number 778-245-3007.
Daniel Rodriguez Risco, a Peruvian filmmaker, was around us. He was visiting Vancouver and promoting his latest movie, El Vientre. This is your Immigrants Magazine's program, but first, our teaser.
Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be right there. Let's put it here. 1, 2, 3. And the king of diamonds just comes to the top. Put it on the bottom again. Say 1, 2, 3, and let's see if it works. There you go.
In all Canada, you have, if you want to drive a car, you must have a valid driver's license.
The work with Vanessa Saba, who is the antagonist of the film, was the most difficult part. She had to act normal, but at the same time there had to be something inside.
The art was in this Immigrants Magazine's episode by The Art of Magic. Camilo Dominguez has created his own illusions world since he was 4 years old. Fantasy and magic. In our Tell Us Your Story segment, Camilo Dominguez from Colombia.
Do I remember what happened when I was 4? Like what was the little sparkle of magic? No, I don't. Actually, there's many different theories in my family. Well, there's 3 theories. My grandma says that my uncle used to do magic to me, like with cards. I don't really remember that, but so she said that it's my uncle. My older brother, Santiago, he said it's because of him, because we went to a restaurant and there was a magician who put a straw through his hand. I do remember that, but he says it's because of that I started doing magic. And my dad says because one of his really good friends in Colombia, who is a very famous magician, did a magic trick for me or something. I actually don't remember what exactly happened, but I think it was just something on TV that I saw a magician and I told my mom, I want to do magic. So I think that's what happened, something that I just saw out of nowhere. And that's where everything started for me. Why do I consider magic my passion? Because I just loved it. I just every day is something new for me. Every day, every show, everything that I learn with the cards and with any other materials, it's new and it's my passion. It's what I love to do and it makes me happy. I like to make people happy. Like I love to amaze people with something that they cannot explain, like how the cards change from hand to hand, or now they're all organized after you shuffle. Like it's something that is my passion. I just feel so happy when I do it. I love it. In my high school, so that was kind of yeah, I do have experience in Melbourne. Melbourne was my secondary school in Victoria, and it was quite the experience because he was in grade 10. It was my first year in Canada, in Victoria. I didn't speak any English whatsoever. There was no English in me. So magic was kind of like the doors for me to get to know myself to everybody else. So through magic, I was learning English in a way. But my experience in Melbourne was great because I was doing magic most of the time. Like I was walking the hallways and all the people like, oh, the Colombian kid who's a magician. So I was like, oh, pick a card, and I was doing magic. Or even my teachers, like one of my teachers in social stand, he the first 10 minutes of every class, I was doing magic for the classroom. He said that was the way so everybody was arriving on time. So if you didn't arrive on time, you missed the magic. And then I started doing magic for the entire school at different gatherings, tournaments. So yeah, that was kind of like my push into the Canadian society through my magic. So that's where everything started. And then after that, I graduated and it was time to move on into a different perspective. Was the most difficult part of doing magic? Well, actually, I don't think there's a specific part as like what's the most difficult. There are many different parts, especially when you do magic like not just a magic effect, but you also have to create a show and then try to put not the most difficult, but one of the most interesting parts and more tricky parts, it's how to build a show, like an hour and 10 minutes of show or an hour and 45, depending on the show that you're gonna do, and how the beginning is connected to the end. Like it's not like you're doing one magic trick here or one magic trick there. I like it to be like a little story in between. So the audience is not like in a fair just watching different things. You're in a show and you're connecting all the dots. So that's one of the tricky parts to create a show. But in magic, the most difficult thing is, I guess, to be able to give the audience something new every time, because like they say, I go to Victoria often, or I perform in Vancouver, and I need to change my routines. I need to give something fresh all the time. So that's one of the biggest challenge, I will say. So how long does it take me to practice a specific routine? I'm with my deck of cards the entire time. Like I will take my deck of cards before I put my wallet or before I put my keys. They're always in my pocket, so I'm always practicing. I'm on the bus and I'm like cutting the cards or playing with the cards. But there's a difference between each effect. Like some effects, I look at it, I create it, and I'm done. I know how to do it. Some of them, it takes there's some of them that I've been practicing for maybe 5 years, or some of them is 5 months, and I still don't feel confident enough to show them to the audience. So there's difficult, they're easy, or they're more complicated. But at the same time, you practice one, but then you have to show it to the audience. So that also takes time to get the audience used to the new stuff. What's the common thing, what's the connection between psychology and magic? Well, that's one of the most interesting parts that I like about my magic, is that I use a lot of psychology in it. It's the way that people react, the way that people, like the movement of the body. You try to read those little details. Like sometimes I said, okay, this is your card, and I can tell if they're lying or not. How the movement of the body sometimes gives me right away what they're thinking, what they're gonna do next. When I arrive to a party or to a show, I know who is gonna be the person who's gonna give me a hard time, just through their movement, or through the way that they talk to me. Or when I'm in a big show, when I'm picking the people from the audience, psychology helps me to see who am I gonna pick into the show, and then through the psychology, I'm able to create a full-on show with not only with cards, but also with reading the minds of different people in the show. So it's a huge connection, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. My favorite magician of all time, it will be Lance Burton. He's from the States. He performed in Las Vegas. He used to perform in Las Vegas at the Multicultural hotel, and I was so honored and happy that I was able to see him when I was 14 years old, and it was quite the experience, because as a magician, one of the hardest things is that sometimes you know many magic effects or tricks, I'll say, so you don't get that amazed as a magician, because the audience doesn't know how it works, so they're amazed. But then when you're a magician, you know how it works, so when you go to a show, you're like, oh, it was good, it was fun. But with this magician, with Lance Burton, it was like I was one of the audience members. Like I was not a magician, I forgot I did magic, I was just there, and I was amazed. I was like, how do you do that? And not only his magic, it's just his persona. He's so elegant, so classy. He combines theater, which I love too, into the show. So he has a beautiful set, the lighting is outstanding, and the costumes are just magnificent. So that's why I do admire this guy, and he does magic in every there's different kinds of magic. So he does magic with cards close up, which I love, but he also does big illusions, so he combines everything in magic, and he brings the history of the magic to his show. So that's one of them. And then another one that I will say is called Juan Tamariz. He's from Spain, and I will say he's like kind of the father of the magic with cards. His creativity is beyond many other magicians. Like he's just always creating something new, something fun, and also his personality. Like he's a comedian. He's so funny during his show. Like you just feel at home every time. He could be in a big theater with 700 people, but it feels like you're at his house with him, just like doing magic at his table. He just brings everybody connected, and it's an intimate show. So yeah, I do admire both of them. And there's many other magicians, but I will say from the top of my head, those two. Sometimes people don't want to show where they're from. I do love to show where I'm from. I love Colombia. This is my country, it's my passion. But I feel so honored from being from there, and I feel that it helps me a lot. Like because of my accent, and I do all of the jokes. I'm like, oh, I'm from Colombia, and oh, I'm ESL, and people like those little details in the show. But yeah, I feel very proud of being an immigrant from Colombia. What are my plans and my goals for the future? Keep doing what I'm doing, like keep being able to do magic as a living, and to perform my shows. But in the big scale will be to one day have my own theater for magic shows and to teach magic, and hopefully it's here in Vancouver or somewhere in the world. But for now, I'm very happy here in home, which is Vancouver. Let's see if the camera can catch this. They're all shuffled. They're all different. Now I'm gonna put them right here on the mat. And watch one more time. They're all shuffled. Now, controlling cards is one of my favorite things. Like when I play poker with my friends, I like to control where the cards are, where all the big cards, where the aces, where the jacks, where the kings. I can give it a cut to the cards, and let's see if I can just cut right here and find, let's say, a king, which is a good card. Let's see if I can just give a little one more cut, and let's see if we can find another king. I don't know. Let's see if we can make it a little bit more complicated. Cut in 3, and let's see. There you go. We're gonna have one more king. And then the last king is going to be the king of diamonds, which is not in the top because this is the 5 of clubs. But if you take the king, you wave it in the table, there you go, you change it right away into the king of diamonds. And that's how I play poker. Rolling, okay, so let's see, we have what? We have the 4 kings right there. We have the king of diamonds, the king of hearts, the king of spades, and the king of clubs. One of my favorite kings is actually the king of diamonds. Why would you say is the king of diamonds my favorite king? Because I count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the king of diamonds is always on top. Let me show you what I mean. I go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the king of diamonds is right on top. I can put it in the bottom. I can say go to the top, and the king of diamonds just goes to the top in 2 seconds. I can count the cards 1, 2, 3, give a little spin, and the king of diamonds comes to the top. Put it in 3rd place. Let's see if I can do 1, 2, 3. There you go. There's the king. Let's put it in the table. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. He's going to be right there. Let's put it here. 1, 2, 3. And the king of diamonds just comes to the top. Put it in the bottom again. Say 1, 2, 3. And let's see if it works. There you go. The king of diamonds. Let's put it here. Let's put it here. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. We're going to have the king of diamonds. So now we're going to have 4 kings of diamonds. But we started with 4 different kings. So let's see if we can change the king of diamonds to, I don't know, maybe the ace of spades. So let's put the ace of spades right there. Let's see if we can have the ace of spades, the ace of spades, and finally the ace of spades. So we're gonna have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 aces. Let's put the ace right here, and let's wave it to the table, and we're gonna have the 10 of diamonds now. Let's put the 10 right here. Let's go a bit slower. Let's see if this one. We have the jack of hearts. Let's put the jack right here. 1, 2, 3, and we have the jack, and then we have the 10.
Valuable advices from housing to transportation to buy or rent a property. The beginning of your new life in Canada with Nora Valdez next.
I am worried about my kids' education. What type of schools you can find in Vancouver? You have everything. Public education is good, is well managed, and is really good. You can find also private schools, and in public education from kindergarten to grade 12, you don't have to pay. In private education, you have to pay. From grade 12, in college and university, you have to pay. If you are a resident, landed resident, you have to pay X amount. If you are an international student, you could pay more for you getting your education. What are the medical clinics? The medical system in Canada is public, is funded by the government and managed by the government, and you have your family doctor, that is the one who's going to take care of your health and your family's health. And at the time you need a specialist, your family doctor will refer you to that specialist and will make the appointments for you. Medical clinics, you can find them in the yellow pages, and go and get a family doctor first and get registered with them, who is going to take care of your health and keep your records. In case of an emergency, if it is at night or weekend where doctors or clinics are closed, you can always go to your local hospital, to emergency room, and get attended. Or there are walk-in clinics that are open 7 days a week until 9 p.m. So it's easy to get to medical attention. Do I need to pay car insurance in Vancouver? Yes. In all Canada, you have, if you want to drive a car, you must have a valid driver's license, and you must have an insurance for at least a third-party liability. If you don't have a valid driver's license, you don't get car insurance and you don't get license plates. Yes, in BC, the car insurance, the basic car insurance is managed by ICBC, Insurance Corporation of BC. They are in charge of issuing the driver's license and the license plates. This is all for today. Thank you very much. I'm Nora Valdez. Welcome to your new life in Canada.
It was 3 a.m. in the morning of any one day. He was sleeping, and suddenly he woke up and he said to himself, I want to make movies. During that time, he was a remarkable economist and chancellor in Peru. As you see, overnight, Daniel Rodriguez Risco's life changed in everything. Every cloud has a silver lining, and now he is a renowned filmmaker in Peru. Daniel Rodriguez Risco and his latest movie, El Vientre.
Well, I started really late. I started when I was 38 years old. I was a chancellor of a university in Peru. I was doing really good. But in my professional life, I was very successful, you know, also as a businessman. But I was not enjoying life. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a filmmaker and also a writer, and I was not doing that. So one night, I just couldn't take it anymore. I had like a vocational breakdown, so I decided to make a short film. This was in 1998. The short film was called The Mattress, and it went to several short film festivals around the world. It won some prizes. Yeah, when people ask me, young people especially ask me, should I make films? I would like to make films. How do you start? I usually tell them, don't do it. It's not a good idea because in Peru you can starve making films. So, but what the message, the hidden message inside of what I tell these young people is that you really have the desire, the hunger to become a filmmaker. If you don't have that desire and that hunger and you really don't want to do it, you're not really internally motivated to do it, don't do it. Well, the idea started many years ago. In 2000, I was a student at the master's program at New York University. I met a woman. She wanted to have children. She wanted to be a mother, but she couldn't for physical reasons. And she started to have some pathologies, some strange conducts. No? That made me do some research on the issue, and there's where the idea started, no? To tell the story of this woman who cannot have children, and who hires another woman, a young woman, so she can have the child that she cannot bear, and take this child away from her. No? Well, this is actually because it's a genre film. It's a psychological thriller. the distributor in Lima, which is Warner Fox, they saw the film in January of this year, and they thought that the film had it was a commercial film, no? And they thought that it could be successful. So they make a big launch of the film in Peru. It went out on the February 13, 80 screens in all Peru, which is a lot in my country. And it had like more than 200,000 people went to see it, no? So it was a big success for Peruvian standards. Yes. Well, probably rehearsing with the actresses, it was a tough film in terms because it's a film about women. Essentially, the two principal characters are women, no? And this is the story of a woman that cannot have children, who is obsessed, and who is actually becomes mad because of that, no? But how can you deploy, show a mad woman in the screen? And because usually, if you look at her and you think that she's mad, people are not going to they're going to laugh at it, So the work with Vanessa Saba, who is the antagonist of the film, was the most difficult part. She had to act normal, but at the same time there had to be something inside her that you could look at her and say, there's something quirky about this woman, but I don't know exactly what, no? Actually, there's a line between drama and suspense, or a psychological thriller like The Womb is, no? The thriller has certain conventions, no? That don't belong to drama, no? For example, in suspense, there's always a life-threatening situation, no? The protagonist, in this case, Mayela Yokja, is striving for her life. If she doesn't win at the end, she's going to be dead, no? That is something that is different from the drama, no? Oh, for me, I think comedy is the most difficult genre, because to make people laugh, I think it's really difficult, really tough, And also, when you see a drama, people are staring at the screen, and you don't really know if they're enjoying it or not, no? In the case of comedy, if they don't laugh at the moment when you think that they should laugh, I think it must be depressing for the filmmaker, no? Yes, actually, I think now making a film is much easier because of the new technologies, no? It's cheaper, essentially. You can go and buy a camera, buy an Apple, and you can make and edit your film in your house, in your garage, as they used to say, no? But the problem, actually, the challenge for the filmmakers is the distribution. You have to how to get your film to the public. Too many films are made today, and too few of them actually get to be seen by the public, no? Well, I'm doing a ghost film. In January of next year. It's a film about a family that goes into a house, an old house, and there are some ghosts waiting for them. Marcos Zunino, he's a very popular actor in Peru. He was the first actor actually to be in a Broadway play. He's the star of this film. And after that, in May of next year, I'm making a drama based on a book by David Fishman called The Secret of the Seven Seeds. It was a bestseller in Peru and in Latin America. So I have 2 films for next year.
Watch what our guest did or didn't say in this episode. Behind the scenes, next. Also, we can do something magical in our lives. How come? preparing some dessert at home, turning a rainy day in a wonderful day, having wonderful wishes to our relatives or friends, seeing the positive side of a problem. Yeah, life is very hard. Remember, you are the only person that can change it for something good. Watch us all Thursdays at 9 a.m. and Saturdays at 1 p.m. on Shaw Multicultural Channel 116. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Problemas de relaciones interpersonales, separación, divorcio, problemas con niños, adolescentes y adultos.
Soy la doctora Yolanda Montoya, soy Clinical Counselor y mi teléfono es el 604-861-1071.
Yes, my latest show was called Somnium, and it was quite the experience for me because it was the first time that I was able to bring my show to Colombia. Since I moved here, I never done a show in Colombia. So it was quite the experience to finally bring my show to my family, my friends, and to Colombia. We also brought it to Whitehorse, then Vancouver we did here, and then finally I just came back yesterday from Victoria. And it was a fantastic production. We had so much fun. It was so different from the other shows, and yeah, it was. I think people loved it. Like, the reviews at the end were fantastic. So yeah, that was the Somnium show.
But she's also one of the great actresses, Peruvian and I would say international actresses working right now. No, I think it's too late for me.